peoples and peoples and peoples. So, I talk a lot, I know. I can't shut up. I'm burning some incense right now and it smells amazing. I'm in my not so well lit living room. I got my creepy little flame lights going on. I got this creepy dude right here. It's about 3:20 in the morning. I guess I've been doing some talking right now, so there's a lighting? I must be the lighting. Anyway, so I kind of wanted to, and by kind of, I mean I'm going to, tell you guys about my experience last Friday. So, the woman asks me to, if I would go to Chicago area with her to take her son's bed and television out there for him and look at a car he was interested in. I don't remember what kind of car. It's a Mitsubishi Lancer or some shit. So I was like, yeah, sure, why not? I'm down with that. We can do that shit. So Friday, we do that. We left pretty early, if I remember. Noon or so? I don't know. All I know is they're an hour behind us, so we actually gained an hour going. So, but anyway, it was like a 2 hour, I think about an hour and a half, 2 hour drive. And we're in my truck, so, because we got the bed and everything in the back. So anyway, it's like a 2 hour drive. The ride there wasn't bad, or the drive, I should say. It was actually pretty cool. But here's where things got weird and interesting. So she's next to me, obviously, and she's texting her son to figure out where he wants us to put this bed and TV. We figured right now he's staying at his dad's house, so that's where we were originally going to take it. Well, apparently, like, we're like a minute, literally a minute, according to the GPS, from his dad's house, and he's like, no, we can't have it here. Let's take it somewhere else. I'll meet you guys at such and such. He gives us like another address of a friend of his. We're like, okay, whatever. It's like another 5-6 minutes away, maybe, if I remember. So we get to this guy's house and nobody's fucking home. And we're not gonna leave this shit outside. You know what I mean? It's kind of a really nice uppity, hoity-toity neighborhood. So leaving a mattress and a bed frame and a TV out in the driveway was just, I think, was just a bad idea overall. So we kind of just put the mattress back in the truck, and we're like, well, let's just go, and I guess we'll come back later, yada yada. Let's go look at the car, at least, which was like another hour drive or so. Maybe it wasn't even supposed to be that long, but it ended up being that long because the way we went, we followed him, her son, and we got on the fucking toll road, which I hate the toll road. Y'all know. Girlfriend's not fond of it either, so we get on the toll road. I'm still not sure how the billing works. We get on the fucking toll road, and we ended up passing the exit that we needed to get off on, pause on that. So we spent like it took us like an hour to get to this fucking dealership to look at this car. Meanwhile, her son's like beat us there probably by at least a half hour, I would say. Maybe even not even that long, but so that was kind of shitty. But it happens, I guess, whatever. So we finally get to this fucking dealership, and her son's waiting there. And it didn't really look like a dealership. It looked more like an impound yard. So, and already I'm kind of like, there's really no place to park. That's how congested the area is. So we get out, and we walk into this tiny little office. And there's like one guy sitting on this side, one guy sitting on that side, and then there's like another room, and that's really like their office. There must be a bathroom somewhere back there, I'd imagine, and it was ran by I don't know, a couple guys with some accents. I think they were Russian or something. Were they? Were they in a hurry? No, I'm kidding. But so anyway, we're like, yeah, and her son's doing the talking, like, hey, yeah, I made an appointment online, yada yada. He's like, oh no, we don't do that. You have to call in first. We don't actually like take online appointments, even though he was able to make one. I think what he did was he found it on like cars.com and maybe sent like a I'm interested message, but that was probably it. So anyway, he's like, "Oh yeah, it's no problem. Well, we'll let you look at the car and yada yada yada." And I think it was a Lancer, Mitsubishi, somewhere there. Anyway, so he gives us the keys and everything, and so he kind of sits in it. And it started up, but it was like a really rough idle and really loud when he started it. I'm thinking, well, maybe it's just been sitting. But still, they had some modifications done to it under the hood and whatnot. What it looked to me, it looked kind of like a project that either A, somebody ran out of money to do and never really finished it, or B, they did finish it and they fucked it up or whatever. So they ended up trading it in. That's my guess. I don't know. I mean, it wasn't like it didn't have a whole lot of miles on it, which was good, and the body was in good shape. But that motor was definitely something to behold. Um, I actually lifted the hood up, and there was like a piece of something that the salesman didn't even know what it was for. And then they had like the positive battery cover on there for jump kits or whatever. So, needless to say, he was like, "Well, I'm gonna at least ask him if I could test drive it." I was like, "Oh, that's cool. Why not? Well, we're here, right?" So he asked the dude. He said, "Hey, can I take it for a test drive?" He goes, "Oh no, we don't do that unless we run your credit." Now I've never heard that shit before in my life. I've test driven plenty of trucks before I bought mine. I even borrowed one for the weekend. That a dealership let me take one for the weekend. They don't give a fuck if they're not gonna run your credit. So I thought that was hint number one. That this is probably kind of a shady deal. Hint number two for me was the salesman asked us if we were gonna pay in cash or do we need to finance you. I'm thinking 9 times out of 10 when you go to a dealership, maybe it's just me, or maybe it's just the way I look. Do I look like I have $20,000 fucking dollars in cash right now, or whatever the hell the price of the vehicle would be? No, I don't, motherfucker. So first of all, chill with that. That shouldn't be your first question. Your first question should be, so what do you think of the car? Not, hey, how am I going to get my fucking money from you people? That was like the number two clue that this place is probably dealing in something that we don't want to really get ourselves wrapped up into. You know what I mean? I mean, we're outside Chicago. I'm not saying Chicago is a bad city. Don't get me wrong. But I mean, it's kind of like the moral capital of the United States right now, isn't it? So, I was like, well, so the salesman kind of walked away, went back inside. And I'm telling her son, I'm like, look, dude, here's the thing. This whole thing just seems shady, and I kind of just told him what I just told you guys. And I'm like, look, I think you could definitely do better. I think they were asking 20 some grand for this car. It's a 2012, something or other. I'm like, I think it's a bit high. And yeah, I realize the miles are low, and I realize it's originally from Hawaii, and it probably hasn't seen bad weather, and yada yada. But I had to Carfax the shit, and I'm like, the last owner only put 6,000, 7,000 miles on it. He had it for like 4 years. I'll tell you why. Because he had this fucking car in a fucking shop doing this fucking work himself for 4 years. That's why I had hardly any fucking miles on it in 4 years. I was like, it's probably just some kid who did all this fucking work, and whether or not it's right or not, we'll never know. Because I can guarantee you this guy's not going to offer you any kind of fucking warranty or nothing like that. This is you pay what you get, or you buy what you get, and we're not gonna fix shit. It had bald ass tires on it too. I've been like, well, if you were really interested, ask him if they'll put new tires on it, just to see what he says. I don't know if he ever asked him, but I can guarantee you they're like, no, because what you see is what you get. It's one of them kind of dealerships. They don't actually want to sell you anything if you don't have the cash. It's kind of what it sounds like to me. It's almost like I don't know. It felt like I need to get rid of this car and get into another car kind of situation. That's kind of what it fucking felt like. Almost like shit. I just did some fucking shit I shouldn't have in this car. I better dump it, trade it in real quick. Oh, here's the keys. Here's the cash. Here's the title. Yeah, fuck that. That's just kind of what it seemed like to me. The kind of place we were dealing with. So, and of course the kid was kind of heartbroken. Who was he? He's 19 years old. He's got his dream cars and whatever and all that stuff. And he's like, man, I just hate looking at cars. I looked at, 20,000 cars and it's been 2 months. I'm like, dude, look, it took me almost a year to find the truck I wanted. I'm not sure if it's still the one I wanted, but I mean, it's been a good fucking truck. it took me a long time to find the right one. It's not being picky, but it's like if you're gonna dump $20-some thousand on something, you want to make sure that something is going to be something you're going to want to go out and see every day when you hop in it and start it up and be like, you know what, goddamn, I'm glad I have this vehicle. I do that all the time with my truck, especially when the weather's shitty. There's fucking 12 inches of snow outside, and I don't want to drive a hearse in that shit, so I'm like, I'm fucking glad I spent $20,000 on this fucking truck. I mean, that's just how I feel, though, but whatever. So, anyway, so we leave the dealership, and I think we went out and got a bite to eat. And I was thinking, like, man, we should get some Chicago pizza. That's what my girlfriend wanted to get. But he was so distraught and disappointed. We met her up at a gas station, and we were kind of like, look, let's just fucking... He wanted to get Panda Express. I'm like, look, let's just take the kid to go get Panda Express. Who gives a shit? So we go to Panda Express. They're out of fucking egg rolls. Unfucking believable. But they did have Fanta Orange on tap, so I had to cheat a little bit. And I had some Fanta. What are you going to do? And I think I had some Kung Pao chicken. Whatever the fuck that shit is. So then we leave. We hang out at the restaurant for a while, I guess. And we leave, and Jordan, her son, has to go back, has to go to work, so... We're basically stuck. I was trying to talk him into at least taking his TV. I'm pretty sure we could have got the TV in his Honda. His car. Current car. But no, he didn't want none of that shit, so... We ended up basically just bringing the fucking bed, the mattress, the frame... and his TV all back to her house here in New Carlisle, Hudson Lake. So anyway, so the drive back was interesting because I'm like, well, you know what? I want to make this trip a little more worthwhile. I know she's upset because we think, between her and I, we kind of think that her son didn't really plan anything. Like it was just kind of like hey, I just want you guys really here to look at this car. The bed and the TV were an afterthought, and such an afterthought, in fact, that I have no idea where to put it. Because if we bring it to his dad's house, his dad's an ass, obviously, because he's an ass, and he owes my girlfriend a shit ton of child support, but he's also living in a $500,000 house, so he knows that if we would have solved the kind of house he was living in, or what his assets were, that she could have fucking came after him for something. But anyway, that's another story, and I don't really want to get into that because it's really none of my business, you know what I mean? But, I mean, I could beat the fucking money out of him, but, which I really wanted to fucking do, but who's that gonna help? I mean, really? I mean, besides me. Anyway, so, yeah, so I was like, well, you know what, let's make this trip a little worth it. More worth it, I mean, whatever you want to say. So, we're in the parking lot from Panda Express, and I'm kind of like, well, I don't want to, I mean, I guess we could leave right now and go back home, you know. I'm like, you know what, let's just see where the nearest Target is, because she loves fucking Target. So do I, as a matter of fact. So, I just started driving. I didn't even tell her where we were going. I was like, do, and then we come up this hill, and we're kind of into this little neighborhood outside Chicago, and there's the Target, and she gets all excited. She looks at me, and with all of her big old eyes and stuff. I'm like, oh yeah, we're going. This is exactly what the plan was. So we go to Target. We spend a half hour, 45 minutes in Target, fucking around, looking at Easter candy and shit. Can't believe that shit's out already. And whatever else we were looking at. Just browsing around, fucking around. Having a good old time, actually. So then we leave Target. And I'm like, well, I guess we're just going to head home. Fuck it, you know. This is where it gets a little more interesting. So we're on this fucking major-ass highway. Probably 4 or 5 lanes, you know, on one side. Or fucking go, like a 10 lane highway, let's say, going back in both ways. And she sees an at-home store. She's like, oh, we should go to the at-home store. I was like, you better let me know now, because I'm way over to the right. I'm in, like, probably the second to the last lane on the right-hand side, you know. I'm like, you better tell me now, because I gotta get in traffic. And I keep looking behind me, you know, my rear views and whatever. And lo and behold, I fucking just, she's like, let's go. I'm like, oh, fuck it, we're gonna go. And I look back real quick, and I fucking turned that fucking wheel. I came this close, people, to hitting a fucking white fucking SUV. I shit you not, because as soon as I saw I was going to hit it, I veered to the right again. or almost gonna hit it. And I veered again, and I saw the fucking truck do like a fucking turned real sharp and fucking took off. And I I just say ended up twice. I ended up in the fucking turning lane where I was supposed to be to get into the plaza where fucking the at-home store was. So here's the kicker. Not only did we almost die, okay, probably not really, but the truck would have protected us pretty good. I would have got hit anyway. But number two bullshit of it was the store really didn't have shit, and the shit they had was fucking expensive. I don't know if it's because we were so close to Chicago or the big city prices or whatever the fuck you want to say, or if their taxes are different. I don't think they are, sales tax. But man, it just seemed like shit was fucking ridiculously high. Again, so we walked around there for about a half hour, 45 minutes. Didn't buy anything because who the fuck can afford it? Okay. It was just expensive, you know. So we ended up leaving. I was like, look, we're going to go home this time. So that shit with almost hitting that fucking SUV was a bit scary. So we're going to go home. And it was already kind of dark, you know. Not that that mattered. So I don't know what the fuck happened. I really don't. But on the way home, we were on this fucking big ass fucking 8-10 lane, whatever the fuck highway it was, for fucking ever. I had my GPS on. I was like, God, we're 2 fucking hours from home. How the fuck did that happen? It only took us an hour and a half to get there to begin with, I think. Maybe it was 2 hours. I probably said it earlier in the video. I don't remember. But anyway, I'm like, well, so now we're fucking 2 hours away still. So I'm on this fucking highway, and I'm fucking, I don't know, I was stressing out because people are just fucking flying, semis, fucking cars doing these fucking shit. I'm like, God damn, man, these are probably people who drive this shit all the time. I can't remember the last time I've driven to Chicago, or anywhere near there. We weren't even in Chicago. We didn't actually go into Chicago. Here's the fucking kicker. So we're driving down this fucking highway for fucking ever. And I'm getting off this fucking ramp and I'm coming up on this fucking, I don't know, they got their highways all fucked up. But I'm actually ended up like going up and then back down. So we go up and we look to my fucking left and there's fucking downtown Chicago. How the fuck did we end up here? I can't remember what city we originally went to. Like where her son lives. God, she could tell me, but I can't fucking remember. But I looked to the left, and there's the old Sears Tower, whatever the fuck it's called now, with a bunch of other skyscrapers. I'm like, that's the fucking downtown Chicago. Right over there. How the fuck did we get here if we never saw this shit on the way in? We were all fucked up, man. We ended up just driving all over the fucking state of Illinois, literally for 10 hours on Friday, as long as she said it took us the entire day to get back and forth to do all this shit while we were there. She was like, man, that was a 10-hour fucking day. I'm like, yeah, well, I mean, it happens, you know, whatever. And she was kind of apologetic, and I'm like, you know what? That was the best fucking 10 hours I've spent with her in a long fucking time. And I would do it all over again. I mean, I don't know if I'd pick Chicago area, but I definitely would. It was just so weird that we ended up, like, not knowing where we were going, and just, I don't know, I wasn't really stressed, I don't think. Maybe inside I was trying not to be, but man, I don't like that big city driving like that, man. Like, I don't mind going to big cities, but I don't like driving in that shit. That's just fucking freaks me out, man. I don't know why. Traffic's fucking crazy. So anyway, we get back to her house and we fucking unload the fucking mattress and the bed and the TV and put it all back in her son's old bedroom, and almost like it never happened. Almost like we were just fucking practicing for when it really did happen. Well, I guess the thing is, he's apparently moving out in 2 months. I don't know, but I think the whole thing was just kind of a reason for us to come and look at that fucking car he wanted. I think that's all it really was. But whatever. It was a good time, and I even told her, I said, look, don't worry about it. It was a good time. I had a fucking blast. And then that Saturday was the day I woke up and got my bike and all that bullshit and went to the Riverwalk, yada yada yada. So it was a good weekend last weekend, and this is, I guess, why I'm talking about it now, because it's Wednesday or early Thursday morning, and I hope to have another one, because this Friday her and I are going to go out. She needs new shoes for work. I need a new hoodie for work, and then we're going to get some pizza, because we didn't get pizza in Chicago because we suck. We went to Chinese instead. What the fuck? We could have got that anywhere. But anyway, that's my 20-minute rant. Again, thanks guys for listening. And for all the support, and for everything else you guys do, for all the sharing that you guys do, and just like, hey, check this dude out. He's a little creepy, he's a little kooky. He's mysterious and ooky. He belongs in the Addams family. But he's not. He's a cool motherfucker. That's all I gotta say. Hey, look at this cool motherfucker. Anyway, guys, stay spooky, stay creepy, and for God's sakes, take care of one another. We're only here once until I prove that we're not. And I'm getting there, goddammit, I'm getting there. You wait. I don't know. Thanks, guys. You guys are awesome.